Okay, we're streaming.
Cool.
We are streaming. What's up, the internet?
You don't have a background, Matt.
You're right, I don't.
know if that's on
And
purpose.
there I
Okay.
am.
Man, we had an episode 3 months ago that was like the whatchamacallit is the SD Loyal, the picture.
Yeah. It just I can't remember exactly where it pulls the preview image from, but it's always like a certain percentage of the video.
It's like the first part of the video, I think. So like right now
Well, we didn't start talking about San Diego until later on, didn't we?
I don't know.
Hmm.
You might have pulled it up like in the beginning though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about them like right when they became a team.
Oh, okay.
All right, I have interviews about the
Cool.
academy, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that as well.
Yay!
And we're gonna start right now. What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 59 of 1868 Weekly. I'm your host, John Macaluso. Today joined by Matt Rafferty. Matt, how are you doing today?
Hey, making it in, I guess you can call it the nick of time, but I'm here.
For sure,
I'm ready.
Glad to have you. And also joined by Brad Polonsky. Brad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today.
Good.
I'm in a really good mood.
Good. Glad to hear it. And Matt, let's discuss your background real quick because it had to have been very recently.
It actually is not terribly recent. It's when I had to pull out of my butt because I got home and turned my computer on and called you guys.
All right. So how recently?
Oh, this is December?
Okay.
Yeah, December.
Brad, do you have any idea where he might be? I think the snow kind of makes it a little harder, actually.
Have I been here before?
It's possible. It's in the Reno area.
Is it somewhere that maybe you reside outside of or inside that area?
Sure, you could say that.
All right, well, I'm gonna guess this is the street right outside your apartment. Everybody go geolocate this and stalk Matt.
Yeah, I think the snow is gonna mess that up.
I was gonna say somewhere out instead. Instead of
Close
what?
enough.
I don't know. But I love.
I'm getting
that
the
dumb
block
joke.
right.
Local jokes.
All right, where is
Matt.
it, Matt?
No, Brad got it. It's Golden Valley.
Okay. Yeah, steadish. A little, not as far, maybe. Also, are you drinking a Mango Madness Monster?
Yes, sir, I am.
Recognize the can.
That's not booze.
I needed me some caffeine.
No, the Mango Madness is one of the better Monster flavors, in my opinion.
Oh, it actually tastes like what it says it is. I think that's the best part.
And yeah, here's a crappy fact about myself. I'm allergic to mangoes. So
No.
The only time I've ever tasted them is artificially. And in my opinion, that is one of the better artificial mango tastes that I've had. So
It's got 16% juice in it.
yeah.
Are you sure you're allergic?
I'm still alive. But, no, when I say allergic, I'm not deathly allergic, but I'm definitely feel like crap allergic. If I same with peanuts, I'm not allergic to peanuts. I have had the unfortunate pleasure of eating peanuts before, and I love them, but I cannot eat them in mass doses. Otherwise, we would have to do an episode from the hospital. So. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about a little bit what's on the docket today. So I think we've got to talk about two player signings that happened late last week. An event that also happened late last week was Reno 1868 FC's official announcement of their academy team, and I was able to get down there to that announcement, albeit a little bit late. But I managed to get an interview with our good friend Doug Raftery, and catch Ian talking to the kids. So that's really cool. I'll share that with you guys a little bit later. It's about 4 minutes long, so enough time in your schedule for that because it's some solid footage. I mean, it's a great interview with Doug, and it's a good opportunity to hear Ian talk to some kids who could be potential stars in the future. You never know. I mean, now with Kevin Pertita coming out of Reno Sparks area, anyone I think is especially with Reno 1868 FC here now, anyone can be a professional player in the future. So look forward to that. And then we'll kind of talk about some other shenanigans here and there, and hopefully hear from some of you guys today. That way we can communicate with you. But let's handle it in the order that I just talked about. So let's talk about these new players. I'm gonna give you the fast one, Brad. Who is?
Do I talk really fast?
You can talk as fast as a cheetah runs. Who did we sign?
All right, good segue there. So Reno signed a former player from Ottawa Fury FC. His name is Cristiano Cheetah Francois. And in his 4-year career, he has 12 goals, 19 assists. If you're asking me who replaces Linda Mfeka on this team, it's Cheetah. It's Cristiano Francois. He's from Haiti. He's appeared in a couple of international games. It's kind of a more difficult team to get on than, say, other countries like Martinique. But, with him in the midfield, you slot him in with Gleedle, with Rivas, with Dabo, with Partita. Those are just 4 out of the 5 other midfielders we have there. Slot him in with any of those guys. He's going to be your attacking winger midfielder that is going to distribute the ball and get a bunch of assists for this team. So we have 2 really good strikers right now. We just found that extra piece of getting the ball to distribute. Mm-hmm. I really like this signing. Twitter blew up when it comes to the USL was really hyping up this signing. They did an article. They tweeted a bunch of it. USL put up, Reno, this guy's coming to you with some amazing highlights. Go check out Cristiano Francois. He's coming to Reno. He's going to be a big signing.
Yeah, we're really, really happy to have him. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a great signing all around. Like Brad was saying, it just adds another piece to the attack. It adds a little more variety to the attack, so it's not just the same thing over and over again. We have pieces to play with now. And I'm feeling very confident about our goal scoring abilities going forward. And, like Brad had mentioned, shout out to Nick Murray for writing that great article. Mm-hmm. He shows us love all the time, and I really appreciate it. And he's an excellent writer. And man, Twitter likes him. USL Pro on Reddit, they had nothing but good things to say about him. I'm excited. And I'm sure there's going to be a Cheetah 2-pull at some point in the future.
Yeah, I'm also very excited about this signing. Kind of, in my opinion, came out of the blue. And those are the best ones, right? Like one day you wake up, Reno's been doing a really good job at teasing their player announcements, and as Brad knows, Brad had to wait a few weeks for one. But besides that one, I think Kevin's been doing a really great job teasing these player announcements. And so this one was teased and then kind of came out of the blue, and we're really happy about it. I'm really happy about it. It adds a lot of speed and depth and a lot of assist potential. Brad, you said that in a different way, but we can all agree that we're really excited to have Francois on the team. Good to have a Cheetah. And, I came in prepared to show you guys this interview, so I didn't think about bringing along some highlights. But if you haven't seen some of his highlights, check him out. I mean, he's a solid addition to the Reno 1868 FC roster. And, coming up, if we have a slow week or something, I think it'd be a lot of fun to maybe put together a highlight reel of some of these newer players that we haven't seen. That's something I might do sometime in the future. I think coming up in the season, something I thought about a lot. So maybe expect that, maybe don't. It depends on what the team has coming up. I know that there's a pretty tight schedule coming up, which reminds me, gentlemen, the kit unveiling has been revealed to us. So let's not forget to talk about that, because I did forget until just now. So who's the other player, Matt?
All right, the other player. This is a position that we've been talking about that we really need some more depth, and we now have another center back in Tony Alfaro. This is a name that might be familiar to some people. He played with Seattle Sounders and then Sounders 2 for about a season and a half or so. He was drafted by Seattle in 2016. Got a few starting games. I want to say six, 7 starting games. And eventually went on with that team to win the MLS Cup. And he's had 37 appearances with Sounders 2 after that. But more importantly, this last year, he spent most of the season with Chivas de Guadalajara. And, that's some top tier experience and so some top tier play that will be amazing to bring to the BLC. Like this is an experienced center back who, might even end up running the back line.
Brad, what are your thoughts?
Another good signing.
Yeah.
I think, we've been asking for this depth the whole time, and right now we have 5 defenders, 6 midfielders, 4 forwards. We're starting to get close to that full team that we're talking about that we've had in the past couple of years. Right now the team's sitting at 15 players, so we could play a full squad multiple times. I would like to see 1 or 2 more defenders to pull from, but as it stands right now, I'm really happy with what we got. I think Alfaro is a really good signing. Like you said, MLS experience, Liga MX experience, and won an MLS Cup with Seattle in a couple games up there. So a good player. He's also not fairly old. I think he's 20s. He's 26. So yeah, not fairly old too. A lot of experience and still fairly young. So a quality signing for the team.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to having that kind of experience on the squad this year. He's had experience at all levels from MLS, as you guys mentioned, to Liga MX. So he's been all over the place, played all over the place, as many of these players do. But he's experienced, I think, a lot more than a lot of people who are his age. So I think that his input and his experience on and off the field is going to be hugely beneficial to the team. And I think that, Matt, I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said that he could very well be a centerpiece of this back line. And we'll see how that goes. Really excited to have him on the squad. Really excited to have Francois on the side. I am talking so fast out of excitement that I'm outrunning my thoughts, which, as you guys know, I think happens pretty often. But yeah, I think the team is shaping up really, really nicely now. I think it's funny, the conversation we were having only a couple weeks ago, we were a little worried because we weren't hearing too much on signings. And then I think there have been 4 signings since in Aiden Apodaca, Francois, Langsdorff, and Mr. Tony Alfaro here. So all good things, I think. I think we're finally starting to move in the right direction. Brad, as you put, we have a full squad at least right now. So looking forward to hearing about more player announcements coming up. Now, as far as how the squad looks right now, gentlemen, we've got 5 defenders. We've got the captain, Brent Richards, Thomas Janjigian, Yosimar Hernandez, Ayrton Statey, and Tony Alfaro. I think that sounds a whole lot better than it did 2 weeks ago. And when I say a whole lot better, I mean we only signed 1 defender since then, but still, I'm really excited to have Tony Alfaro as part of our squad.
That makes a big difference, though.
Yeah.
And then when we look at midfielders, still looking pretty solid as far as midfielders are concerned. We've got Cristiano Francois, who was just added, Sam Gleedle, Muhammad Dabo, Tucker Bone, Sergio Rivas, and the man, Kevin Partida. We feel pretty good about midfield so far. I feel a little bit better about it.
That's our strongest position. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Strongest position.
And the area where I think both of you gentlemen thought when we last had this conversation about where we needed the most improvement is in our forwards, and I think that's the area where we have had the most improvement since we've had this conversation. Foster Langsdorff, Aiden Apodaca, Corey Herzog, and Benji. The 2 additions, of course, being Aiden Apodaca and Foster Langsdorff. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about our general lineup? We put these guys on the field tomorrow. How do you feel?
I think, with what we have available, we could easily beat the majority of the league. Like, it's of course, USL Championship is one of those, any given day, anybody can beat anybody kind of things. Yeah. But I'm feeling very confident about this. And, you put a couple more key pieces in there, add a couple more pieces of depth, depending on who San Jose decides to send us. This is top 4 team.
Definitely. Yeah. Brad, what do you think?
I got 3 words and a short explanation. home playoff
Yep.
game, and or home playoff games. And my explanation is midfielders are strongest.
Yeah.
Forward is pretty much the
Mhm.
same thing as our midfielder. We are strong there. The big question will be we have three people coming back to this defense, two of which didn't see too much action last year with Hernandez and Janjigian. But Richards played pretty much every game again. And two pretty solid additions with Staddy and Alfara. That's I want to see how that'll work out, and if we come in and we're shutting teams out, definitely home playoff games, multiple games,
Mhm.
maybe even challenging for the top of the bracket.
Yeah, really looking forward to the start of the season now. Now that we have a clear picture of who we've got on the battlefield. And I agree, Matt, I completely agree with you. I think that with the roster we have right now, if we put this team against a majority of the teams in the West right now, I would take Reno 1868 FC as a top 4 pick easily. Of course, this is having done very little research into other teams, but I have confidence. What do we say at the end of every show? In Ian we trust, and we say that for a reason. And you can see that their hard work, Chris and Casey and Ian and Doug's, everyone's hard work is starting to pay off with some of these big signings. You don't see the USL really blow up as they did with Francois, and they kind of did a little bit with Langsdorff for small time players. And I think that's all I have to say. I'm excited. I really like how the team's coming together. The team's really done a lot in the last 5 to 6 weeks. And, man, the 29th, can you get here faster? I got to see this team in action, boys.
Yeah, I'm itching for it, but I feel like it's also one of those things that's going to be like, it's here before you realize it. Am I
I
ready?
just hope it doesn't look like your background. That's all I'm scared of.
It might. It'd be a nice introduction to the San Diego, the locals supporter
ball.
groups.
That would be, especially with the weather this week and how it was earlier last week. That would be hugely beneficial for us, I think, as a team. You got our guys.
When I woke up, it was 8 degrees.
Well, yeah, I left this morning for work and it was 12. But luckily, the boys don't practice in weather that's that low. I think today they had their first open practice, and it was probably about 30 degrees ish. So if we maybe a little bit warmer than that, but if it looks anything like your background, I think Reno's got the advantage. Just expect that early call to maybe have to go out and shovel it, and I'll do what I can to pop up there with my camera to watch you, Matt.
To watch.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to say on these two really good additions to the squad, or maybe how the team's looking in general right now?
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, I'm happy. Good job, front office.
Yeah, agreed. That's what I like to hear. All right, so we are going to go into the academy now. So Reno 1868 FC held an event on Thursday, introducing its first academy team, which is it's a local team that Reno 1868 FC is sponsoring, and they're doing this and sending this team to Tampa Bay. I believe that's the location. You know what? I should probably double check that.
That is correct.
Okay, so Tampa Bay to play some other teams in the inaugural USL Academy Cup. I don't know if that's the exact name, but that's exactly what they're doing. And so I was able to hop down to Greater Nevada Field, catch some of these players, and of course catching Ian, talking to them, and got to talk to Doug Raftery, the general manager of Reno 1868 FC, about all kinds of things in dealing with this academy squad. So we're going to go ahead and hear from Mr. Doug. Here's his smiling face after I made sure that I pronounced his name correctly. And the reason I do that is because I introduce Matt Raftery every week. And sometimes I did it today too. I don't know if you guys noticed when I said, hey, we talked to Matt Raftery, because I don't want to say Raftery. So here's the interview. And then just after this, we're going to have a little tidbit of Ian Russell talking to the Academy team. And you two gentlemen are going to, I guess, have to follow along on YouTube. So here it is. Enjoy.
What does this academy mean for the team?
It's huge, first off. It's something that when I stepped in April, it was one of those things that was on the list to involve youth a lot more and youth soccer in general. And this came about when the league introduced the USL Academy Cup. So there was a regional event back in October. There's another event in February. We're placed in the national event, Memorial Day weekend of 2020, and we are sending a local club out there, and very excited to work with the coach, John Zebrak, who we also work with various other ways as a part of the organization, to work with him and the kids, and sending 2022 kids out to represent Reno 1868 FC as a youth club against other USL Championship organizations, Phoenix Rising, New Mexico United, Colorado Springs, the list goes on and on, Orange County. So it's really neat to be able to play those other academy programs.
And what kind of a message do you feel that this brings to the community, to younger kids who just aren't old enough to be on the academy team quite yet?
Yeah, I think it's something to look forward to. We certainly want to build upon this. This is not the starting, this is the starting point, but it's not the stopping point by any means in terms of youth involvement and what we're looking to do in terms of players in this area representing us. And hopefully the goal is that we find some talent within these current guys, and then in the future who we can start building a pipeline for who can play for Reno 1868 in the future. Obviously you see Kevin Partita, who went to Sparks High School, certainly drafted by San Jose in the Earthquakes, but we're fortunate enough to have him back this year as a part of just 1868, and hopefully he can climb to that MLS level moving forward. But it's exciting. It should be exciting for youth.
Now this academy team is really good team, but what do you think they can gain from learning from such a really one of the best teams in the nation in Reno 1868?
Yeah, so they'll get an opportunity to experience things firsthand in dealing with our current players, being down on the bench while the team is warming up, just to see that intensity. Ian and our coaching staff will be spending time with them from simple classroom sessions, just understanding different style and culture, what values mean, what a lot of different aspects of a club that a lot of people don't think of right off of the bat outside of just the actual play and the talent that occurs. So they'll have a lot of opportunities to improve themselves outside of just the tournament itself.
You got to do all the extra stuff, and it's not just going to training and doing a couple sessions every week. It's doing the stuff after training, working every day. You can ask any professional player, they do the work every single day. When there's no training, they're out working. Schoolwork comes first. You do that, and then you go play, right? Because if you don't get your grades right, you can't get into college. I've seen a lot of good ones that just kind of fall by the wayside because they thought they could mess around in high school, and then end up not doing what they want to do, right? So the takeaway for me is really just put in the work, and when you feel like you're too tired to work, keep going, all right? And work on your game, and you never know what's going to happen. All right, boys, good luck. I'll see you at the games. Watch these players. Pick out a player that plays your position and watch how they play it. Watch the work rate, on the ball, off the ball, defensively, attacking-wise, and take notes from them. Because it's good to have a pro team right in town, and these are good players. A lot of these guys have played in MLS, are going to be playing in MLS. Okay? All right, boys, congratulations. Thank you.
All right, so there was a quick look at that event. Really cool to see a lot of those kids, a lot of smiling faces, a lot of happy parents, guys. I love the idea of academies. It's a great opportunity for our younger kids in the community to get a taste of soccer against other very talented teams around the nation. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think it's incredible. I know there were a lot of other teams that had brought up that they are starting academy teams that are going to the Academy Cup, or that they have started U23 sides that are playing in USL 1, USL League 1. I know Rowdy's got one going. Louisville just announced one. New Mexico announced one. But, I mean, now we have the pipeline. Like, we're no longer the bottom rung. We are, we're something to strive for for the youth, because we are, that springboard into MLS and maybe even higher levels. But it's desirable to want to be on 1868 for these young players, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
I really hope that we can be rooting for these guys in 5-6 years.
No doubt. Yeah, definitely. Maybe an opportunity to one day be on Reno 1868 FC. Brad, what are your thoughts?
Everybody in the community, like Reno 1868 is buying into this
Mhm.
community more than like ever before right now. Like, let's pack these games. Let's support the team. Let's support the academy because they're supporting the community. I don't know what their schedule will look like other than this this national tournament at Miami or Tampa. Wow, I am all over the place. I don't know what it looks like other than the Tampa tournament, but support. We're here for the team. The team's here for us. Like, I really like this announcement. I really like this signing of a bunch of academy players, and I was reading through it. They're all high schoolers, like all local high schoolers. Call it like all-star Reno high school
Yeah,
football.
definitely.
Washoe County football. Hope to see great things out of this.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do.
And we will, of course, provide you fine viewers/listeners with an update on this team as we get it. But for now, I think, Brad, you got it pretty good, unless I heard Matt doing some typing, unless Matt was able to find something on their schedule. But as far as we know, they've got this tournament for the National USL Academy Cup coming up in Tampa Bay in May. That's it. Cool. I think that's a pretty solid interview and soundbite from Ian there.
Yeah,
what's
totally.
up, Matt?
Yeah, I also just did want to point out that there is one kid from Vegas who broke in from Durango High School, and it looks like, looking at what the notes they listed, he's lit up at the ODP, the Olympic Development Program. For those of you who are not familiar with youth soccer, and this is cool. It's more of a statewide thing. We're snatching some away from Vegas who don't even have an academy yet. You look over. Someone just released a map of all the teams that are going to be in the academy, and it's mostly USL Championship. There's a couple of USL League One. There's Union Omaha. You have Triumph, but this looks like a good mix, and it looks like it's going to be a big tournament too.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to hearing about how our team does. I've heard that they're already like phenomenal, so it'll be really cool to see how Reno 1868 FC is able to influence the way they play. And I mean, look, you've got a huge tool in Ian Russell. I don't know how much exposure the academy squad is going to get to Ian. I imagine some, right? But he's played in the MLS. He's won a cup with my team, the San Jose Earthquakes, and now he's making a historical run with Reno 1868 FC. So that is a brain that if you're a young soccer player and you want to, maybe you just want to go to college, or maybe you want to, go pro, that's a brain you want to pick. That's a brain that will help you get to where you need to go. Any final thoughts on the academy, guys?
It makes me happy to see a bunch of pro soccer teams in America investing in youth soccer programs in America.
Yeah.
Hopefully down the road it gets rid of kind of the idea of pay-to-play model, where people are signing up for soccer teams and are paying a bunch just to play.
Yeah.
And hopefully it moves us towards a merit-based, where a lot of these players are getting the chance to play and eventually represent our country. And merit-based is the wrong word, but a lot of, it's pushing up the skilled players to represent the country and maybe go professional abroad. That would be something I'd love to see more of. And I think this is like an amazing start.
Like, how much do we three root for Christian Pulisic? I mean, seriously. He plays for BVB. No, he plays for his Premier League team now. Chelsea? Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's had a solid time there for what he's played. I think currently he's injured. Of course, viewers, if I am incorrect, correct me. But I think he's played fairly well. And we want to see him play well because he's like us. He's an American. And we want to see him do well. And we want to see our academy teams do well. And we want to see America, we want to see the soccer scene in America really grow. And I'm only going to say this once this episode, guys, and I don't want you to respond to it. We want more people in the seats for Reno 1868 FC. Of course, we'll talk about that every single episode during the normal season. So we're not going to talk too much about that right now. But yeah, academy team really stoked for it. Hope they do well. Congrats to all you youngins who are seizing the day and are on this academy team. Let's move on, guys. We've got another event coming up, which I will be at. But the difference between this event and the academy event is that you, fine gentlemen, will be there too. Matt, what is it? You look stoked. Tell me what it is.
Oh, I am very excited. We have a jersey unveiling coming up very soon. I mean, not horribly soon, but it's soon enough, and I'm excited.
Soon, honestly.
Next week.
Yeah, that's pretty
from
soon,
Thursday?
man.
Yeah, that's
Or
pretty
week from
soon.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, what day? What is the
What is
date?
that?
Sorry.
The 12th?
It is the 12th.
Yeah,
12th.
it's the
Yeah.
12th.
Yes.
Hmm?
So stoked.
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So if you're late, get there. You can still make it. You get out of work at 6. Hey, you can get there at 6:30, 7:30. Get there. I think, guys, for the very first time, normally I like waiting, but I think I'm going to buy a jersey right there this time. Get a jersey right there. I know, Brad, you did last year. Do you plan on it
Yes.
this year?
I mean,
That's
if
a
they
yes.
have my size like they did last year.
Well, I think
No, the only
last year they only had your size in the aways,
in the
right?
blue.
Oh, in the blues, the home.
No, in the home. And I really wanted the away, and they had like smalls and double
So
XL.
here's what
It's
we're
like,
gonna do, Brad. You're gonna stand in that back corner, like where they check people out. That the back corner I'm thinking where they had it last year, right? So you're gonna stand over there and watch, and then
Roger.
yeah, and then you're just gonna wait, and then you'll be the first in line. Bam, and then I will tell Kevin to hold off on interviews for a minute. Matt and I will both rush there and grab a jersey. There we go. They'll have our size if we cheat. This just in,
For
Reno
sure.
1868 podcast.
cheaters.
Yeah, our cheaters. So yeah, there we go. So you are planning on buying one then, Brad?
Oh,
Yeah,
obviously.
cool. What about you, Matt? Are you gonna pull the trigger? Yeah.
I think
Cool,
so.
cool.
My tradition, I don't think it's on purpose, but it seems to be like you buy. I wear the one from last
Mm-hmm.
year, the entire year. But I don't know the way the rumors I've been hearing about this. If it's as glorious as I think it's going to be, I'm going to buy it outright.
Yeah. I won't be wearing last year's jersey because I don't think I can. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm a little sad there's no silver. Oh yeah, that's another thing that's kind of new this week is that I have confirmed that there is no silver in the jerseys, which nobody's surprised, right? Like
Yeah.
I know I texted you guys and Matt was like, yeah, but still, I think I can't remember if it was a confirmation, but discussion came up about gold. So I think that expect some gold, and if I'm wrong, you could just blame Matt. And I don't know why I'm saying blame Matt. I could have just as easily said blame Brad, but we blame Brad a lot. So yeah, Matt, you get the blame for this one.
I need a break.
Yeah, Brad. Needs
I'll be
a
the
break.
scapegoat this time.
So
It's
that's
okay.
happening on February 12th. The three of us will definitely be there. I'm actually going to bring Evelyn because I want her to experience the event, and it's because it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's the first time of the season where you guys catch up with other fans. Of course, excluding probably the leaders of the Battleborn Brigade. So you see a lot of people you maybe haven't seen in a little bit, and I look at you guys every week, and you guys see me every week, but we get to see faces that we don't normally see, like Roy. I don't know you guys. I like Roy, and I know you guys do to an extent. But Roy and some other guys I haven't seen, Deej in a while, or Hunter. So really looking forward to seeing some of them, and then also get to see some of the players. And obviously the players wearing the jerseys, but you can say, hey, what's up? I think last year they signed some scarves for everybody, which was really rad. I think they might have signed jerseys too. Kind of throw stuff in front of them and they'll sign whatever. So that's the kind of event it'll be. A whole lot of fun. If you can make it, get on down there. And you could be some of the first people in town to see these awesome new Reno 1868 FC jerseys. And if you want to take it to a whole nother level, you can buy a jersey and be one of the very first people in Reno to own a new Reno 1868 FC jersey. So really excited. Had a lot of fun last year. Gonna have I will have that for you. It's the 12th. What day is 12th? Is Wednesday, right? So okay,
Yep.
so we may or may not have this content for you the next episode, but we will have it the following episode. So we'll see. Yeah, I can't really. I don't think it would be a good idea to have an episode that late in the week. So we're probably gonna have it for you guys the week after that. Snag some interviews with some of the players wearing the new gear, and take a picture of you fine fellows in your new gear, and we'll call it a day. We'll see what happens. Now, we do have a question from Carrie Gleedle. Carrie, thanks for joining us once again. This is the second week in a row. We appreciate that.
Hello.
Speaking of jerseys, have you seen the LV Lights training gear? Now, which one of you fine gentlemen wants to pull that up for all of us?
Is it the checkered? Like what is going
I can
on
see
here?
Brad typing away. Brad, are you going to...
And boop.
Oh,
Beat you.
ugh. Carrie,
Is that a
it?
hint on their kits? Like, are we seeing something similar on their kits? Their actual ones, or is this just a general
Oh,
atrocity
God,
that they
this
wanted to
is-
push
this
out?
is-
They have to be just as invisible as their goals.
Wait,
Like,
hold
you know,
on.
their
Go
goals
back,
are
go
that
back to
chill.
that, Matt. Thank you.
I
No,
apologize.
it's all good. It's the whole fading out at the bottom is kind of ugly, and then coming back at the bottom of the pants. Ugh. That's pretty rough.
Hashtag Vegas. Ugh.
I feel
Ugh.
like hashtag Vegas ugly should be something like just ugly things about everything Vegas.
Yeah, I feel like they
And,
can
like,
they just
the
sum it up just from their
checkers get, like,
existence.
bigger
But-
as they like move up.
Yeah, it's really awkward. But speaking of Vegas, more former Reno news.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Jordan Morel.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's
Jordan Morel
that's a bummer.
has joined the lights.
He has joined the dark side. Well, okay, I don't know. I don't like comparing the Las Vegas Lights to the dark side because the dark side can be kind of rad sometimes. Like, I'll be
because
honest,
the Empire did nothing wrong.
they are like the Huts.
Oh yeah. Oh, yep.
Yeah.
No, we
or-
just looked at ugly, so it fits.
So yeah, that's ugly. So, but I imagine like you can't stray too far away from your ugly normal jerseys. So yeah, that's hideous. Thanks, Carrie, for bringing that up. And obviously this time the podcast listeners are going to be fine because they're not going to have to look at those ugly things.
Save your
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah. Of course, feel free to look them up if you want. All right, what else do we have to talk about, guys? Reno 1868 FC stuff.
Man, I am fresh out of Los Azules information.
Good. That means we've mostly exhausted it. Although I don't think
I
we're-
got
Oh,
one.
what is your one? Let's do this.
It's not really directly 1868, but it's so much to do with the team that I'm just going to bring
Yeah.
it up. So preseason has hit for most teams, and just like most teams, San Jose had a game in Mexico this
right.
week. They played a 120-minute game, a kind of odd 4 30-minute halves or quarters. But they played two different lineups. They played one lineup for half the game, and the halftime or at 61 minutes they subbed in the second, so halftime they subbed in the second squad. The team for San Jose starting 11 from Reno included Matt Bersano. Jacob Kinneridge came in at the 51st minute. Fuentes played, Calvillo played, Haji played, Cade Cowell played. Former Reno player Paul Marie also played, and all those players played together with Flo Jungwirth and Chris Wondolowski.
Cool.
So kind of an interesting lineup. That lineup lost 1-2. The only goal coming from super draft pick Jack Skahan in the 7th minute. The second half was played by Reno players JT Marcinkowski in goal. Former 1868 player Louis Philippe in the midfield. That's it for 1868 players. A bunch of other common San Jose players. The one name that I didn't see here that I kind of expected, which is kind of important to note, is Daniel Vega didn't play goaltender for San Jose. I don't know if he's not with the team in Mexico right now. Neither did Tarbell, or they're looking to move on from both already. But Matt Bersano and JT are getting a lot of action down and it's also preseason training camp.
Right.
But they're getting some action down in preseason training camp. Could be indicative of what they're moving forward to in the next year. The second lineup lost 2-0 with goals in the 63rd and 117th from Columbus Crew.
Interesting information about goalkeepers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We will see what I haven't heard any news about any potential changes there, but you never know what can happen during the off season. All right, so since it sounds like we've exhausted our Reno 1868 FC news, and gentlemen, I know you want to talk about things that don't involve the team, but we're not going to do that today. So yes, I will be the bad guy here. What we are going to do is wish our very good friend Chris Malinab a very, very happy birthday. I actually haven't texted him about that yet, so I'm about to text him after this. But happy birthday, Chris Malinab. We appreciate you. You're great. We love you here in Reno, and we love your positivity. I love your Facebook and Instagram posts and mental health awareness. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday. Seriously.
Yeah, definitely. Brad, thank you for reminding me, because this is something I wanted to bring up, but I forgot, because I put together that Academy video right before the show. So yeah. Happy birthday, Chris Malinab.
Yes, Chris. Happy birthday. Thank you for all you do for the team. I'd love to have you back on as a guest again pretty soon and avoid talking conspiracy theories.
I don't think that's a thing.
And also for all the work you do with suicide awareness and mental health in Reno, coming from someone who works at a mental health hospital, big deal. And it's nice seeing you being kind of one of those leaders to help bring awareness in the community.
Definitely.
And your voice is important and it's very strong, so keep it up, dude.
And your uplifting Twitter posts make Twitter less crappy, because Twitter sucks, and uplifting and wholesome stuff makes it that much better.
Absolutely. We're going to end on that. I think that's a pretty good way to end. And when I say end on that, I mean go into random thoughts. So Matt, what's on your mind, man? You're rubbing the bottom of your beard and your scruff.
Oh, that's just a habit. I don't know.
I don't know. That looked like a thinking face. What's your random thought?
I was trying to think of a random thought, which in that case doesn't make it random at all, really, does it?
But I pointed that out last week. So
yeah, man, I don't know. I got nothing.
If you want to think about something, we can move on for a sec.
I'll take his random thought if he doesn't end up getting one.
All right, Brad. What is one of your random thoughts?
All right. Well, when I said multiple, I meant 3, but the first one is pretty quick.
What do you mean
My first one's pretty quick. I got a new scarf from one of my roommates who just visited Jerusalem. And so I have a new favorite IPL Israeli Premier League team. Kind of cool scarf. This is Beitar Jerusalem, Beitar Jerusalem FC. So let me get that on the screen.
Nice.
So kind of cool. My real random thought is going on right now. It's probably over at this point. I'll have to watch it later. State of the Union was tonight. I'm not going into the politics, but it's something that is very important, kind of understanding what's happening in the country. If you do like politics, this is kind of like, the Oscars, where something happens, it's interesting, but you learn a lot from the event. I think it's something that people of all ages should be watching, and then forming their own opinions based on, both what the incumbent president says as well as the opposition says afterwards. And I guess that's all I'll say about that.
All right, what the heck? Give us your third random thought.
All right. It's only a random thought because you didn't allow me to say it during non-team related news. We were talking about ugly jerseys.
Yeah, this is cheating.
We were talking about ugly jerseys, and this monstrosities came up from New York Cosmos. They're allowing the fans to vote on their jerseys. You have 3 options here. You have what's called City Sounds, which kind of is like a regular stripe. That doesn't look too bad in my opinion. You have the shirt that says Cosmos with a bunch of lines. It's ugly, but not as ugly as the mashup, which is just like
Oh, that's
everything thrown together. So if you really don't like the New York Cosmos, P.S. Most of the USL doesn't like the Cosmos. If you don't like the Cosmos, vote ugly.
oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
You're welcome.
No, the question is like I think the one I really would want to vote on is a jersey that says something about how they destroyed the NASL twice. Just shot them down twice in their history. It's really impressive.
All right, Matt, what's your random thought?
Okay, now this is actually very random.
Good.
So belts suck. Belts that you wear, to hold your pants
Okay.
up because the holes are too far apart.
Sure.
Get yourself a ratchet belt.
Oh, those
It
are
has
cool.
tiny, half-inch steps, and makes a nice little click, 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 click as you're tightening it. The most comfortable belt I've ever had, and that's just my recommendation. Whether you work in an office or you work outdoors,
Are they not kind of ugly though?
No, not at all. It looks
Like
it's a
you're wearing
normal
them
belt.
right now. Okay,
Yes.
take them off and put them in front of the screen.
Hold on, let me just stand up a
Or you
little
can
bit.
stand up a little bit, and we can look at your.
I don't want to
Ah,
see
okay.
that.
That's not too bad. Actually, that might be. Yeah, it's not as nice as my build, but it's close. I actually have one because my grandpa used to buy stuff all the time, and when he didn't like them, whether I wanted it or not, he'd pawn it off on me. I just realized I do have one of those. I might have to. I'm gonna wear it on air and then be like, "Hey Matt, the belt I'm wearing is inspired by you." In fact, I'm gonna say that in the middle of my traffic hit. No, I'm not going to say that in the middle of my hit, but
Oh, please do.
No, I enjoy my job, Matt. All right, so my random thought, and I might have a couple today, but this is first and foremost. So, a lot of people at work are younger than me. I'm an old soul. I'm an old fart, and a lot of the kids at work have been talking to me to get a hydro flask. So for the longest time, I've been using what I call my poop bottle, which is a bottle like one of those plastic ones that has the poop emoji on it. So I call it my poop bottle, and occasionally I'll call it my poop water, depending on how I feel. So Evelyn, my girlfriend, she won a dip competition, like a bean dip competition. She made some hummus, and it was very tomatillo flavored. It was really, really good. And so she won me this and gave it to me. And it's awesome. I love it. I mean, my water has not been cold ever. So I'm really stoked about it. And I've already started putting stickers. Obviously, that's a Cola Weight sticker, but like this one. Now, actually, secretly, this is my random thought right here. It wasn't that whole story. It was the stickers that I've put on the cup. I'm going to turn this off to see if you guys can look at it. It is Samuel L. Jackson.
Nice.
Saying "Rise and shine, Mother Clucker."
That's a good place.
And this is it's on the opposite side of where I work, but it's a really solid sticker. It's from Two Chicks. Yeah, we were just sitting down. They're like, "Hey, you want some stickers?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then they put that in front of me, like I'm gonna say no to something that references one of the best Quentin Tarantino movies. So it's Pulp Fiction, by the way. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But so that's my random thought for the day, and I don't really have another one. Actually, okay, real quick, I do. So this weekend, a friend's birthday party. He wanted to spend it playing Mario Party. So we played like 60 rounds of Mario Party, maybe. I think it was 30 turns.
Oh
it may
my
have been
God.
50 rounds. It was awful. Don't do that to yourself, guys. I think he wanted us to do that to watch our pain and misery. Mario Party's fun for 5 rounds. That's it.
My friends will disagree.
Your friends are
But especially the way
blasphemers.
Mario Party is now, it's just hand out
Yeah, and
stars
that's
to
exactly
everybody.
what it was. It was the new one. So I was like, Mario Party 2, maybe, maybe the original even. All right,
Sure.
let's get the heck out of here. Where can we find you on social media, Brad?
You can find me tweeting away at Pal on the Sky, PALONTHESKY, and I guess Reddit at the same name. I guess.
All right, Matt, where can we find you?
You can find me on the Reddits or on the Twitters. Raf Out Loud with underscores between each word.
Nice. And you guys can go ahead and find me on John Macaluso everywhere. And of course, don't forget to follow 1868 Weekly on Twitter. I'm still working on that thing coming on Facebook, so be on the lookout there. And then also subscribe. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to 1868 Weekly, you got to do that, man. You got to do that. That way you know when we're recording, because we do record at funny times, like today at 7, because Matt Rafferty was late. It happens.
I'm a working man.
Like, in his defense, I'm usually the reason we're late, because I take my sweet time pressing that stream button. And then when I do press it, I don't tell them that I pressed it. So, all right, that's going to be it today, guys. We're really excited about how the team's shaping up. So thanks for watching. Thanks for following and supporting Reno 1868. And thanks for following and supporting 1868 Weekly. What do we say at the end of every episode, Brad?
Well, I was going to say everything you just said, so that. In addition, in Ian we trust. And
Vamos
Azules! Thanks for watching and listening.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.